Here are 5 sleeper tight ends in your 2025 fantasy football leagues. This is if you're looking for a second, maybe even a third tight end in leagues. We're starting out with Chig Okonkwo of the Tennessee Titans. You could get him just outside the top 25 tight ends in drafts. Look, he had 479 yards last year on 70 targets. It wasn't great. In 2022, 450 yards. 2023 was his best season, 528 yards. But you get the drill. He's normally around 500 yards. That has not been great. No difference making ability. Week to week, it has not been useful. But here's the point. The quarterback play, the offensive line, the offense have been brutal in Tennessee. Things could be better. Tennessee invested in their offensive line, bringing in a couple new starters, and last year's starter, Lloyd Cushenberry, maybe he improves from an injury-plagued season. Their young players are time to develop. The line could be good. Quarterback, we're hoping that Cam Ward gives him at least decent play, which is a far cry from what they've had. But the best thing about Okonkwo, he could easily be the second option in the passing game behind Calvin Ridley. The receiving room is a bunch of rookies, some veterans that haven't produced in years. This is wide open. And Okonkwo is a very, very good player who's talented. He has speed. He has agility. He can line up all over the formation if needed. He is a weapon who has never been able to be weaponized. Worth a shot. Juwan Johnson is next. New Orleans Saints. You can get him around tight end 29. And I know, just like Okonkwo, he's never really gotten it done. Career high, 548 yards. He did have 2 500-yard seasons in the last 3 years. The problem has always been for Juwan Johnson, snaps and targets. Doesn't get regular targets, doesn't get regular snaps, and it just fizzles out. But at least we'll say this. To end last season, Juwan Johnson averaged 5.5 targets in his last 6 games. That's a good target volume. Now, of course, Chris Olave was out. Rashid Shaheed was out. So there's that. But we look to this year right now. And the Saints have, again, Shaheed and Olave, but they really don't have a reliable number 3 receiver. Brandon Cooks, at this stage, not so much. I think this offense is forced to play 2 tight ends as their base offense, which means Foster Moreau's the blocker. Juwan Johnson may finally see regular playing time, be weaponized as a slot-type receiver, as a tight end. This is finally his opportunity to shine. Now, the quarterback play, Tyler Shuck, are we excited? No, but the New Orleans defense projects to be really bad. Coach Dennis Allen's gone. They've been losing talent on his defense for years. What does that mean? That means game script. Pass the football. Juwan Johnson has a great chance to contribute this year. This is the time to buy him. Next, Elijah Arroyo of the Seattle Seahawks, 2nd round draft pick, going around tight end 35. And here's the thing. He was one of those pass catchers in college. Often injured, I get it. Not a blocker, but that's fine. In Seattle, it seems to me they're going to have to play 2 tight ends on the field frequently. Their receiver room, Jackson Smith-Njigba, great. Cooper Kupp, often injured, aging. They're talking him up. I wonder how much tread's left on the tire there. They're number 3. Marquez Valdes-Scantling. At best, a rotational player. This team needs to use 2 tight ends. Arroyo is a dedicated receiver. Sam Darnold's going to have to get the ball out quickly. Elijah Arroyo could step into some targets immediately. If you're enjoying the breakdown here, take a second to hit like and subscribe. It helps RotoWire keep that fantasy advice coming your way. And if you want even more of RotoWire's tools, rankings, and insights, we got a 15% discount just for our YouTube viewers. Head to rotowire.com, choose your subscription, and use the code YouTube15 at checkout. All right, next, Mason Taylor. I wanted to mention him earlier, but I mentioned him in so many videos, but you have to know about Mason Taylor. Mason Taylor, early 2nd round pick of the Jets, and the Jets really need a pass catcher to go with Garrett Wilson. Their receiver room, Josh Reynolds, no thanks. Allen Lazard, not so much. Mason Taylor is a pure pass catcher, and he projects to be a day 1 starter. Now you might say, oh no, Justin Fields is the quarterback. Not so fast. In 2023, remember, Justin Fields got career years from DJ Moore. Oh, and tight end Cole Kmet, who had over 700 yards with 6 touchdowns. Mason Taylor, if he's the number 2 option in this passing game, going to get targets. He could have that Cole Kmet type season as a rookie, and you're getting him so late in drafts that he could end up turning that tight end 25 draft cost into tight end 15 productions. Very excited about him. Next, Oronde Gadsden of the Los Angeles Chargers, later draft pick. But here's the thing. We know the Chargers like to use multiple tight ends on the field. They want to dictate that the defense puts in more heavy personnel. But we also know that the league today, they like to get those tight ends weaponized. And the Chargers staff has been very, very positive in talking about how they can weaponize and get Gadsden out in the passing routes. And that is exactly what he could do. He is really a big slot receiver playing tight end. And right now, Ladd McConkey is an outstanding player. But Mike Williams, it's a tough call on him. He's over 30. Maybe he clicks. Trey Harris, again, early draft pick, outside receiver. We'll see. But Gadsden could be a major factor in the middle of the field. And again, he is going at the super end of deep drafts. So he is worth a lottery ticket. Finally, Jatavian Sanders going around tight end 30. Just remember, Jatavian Sanders suffered a neck injury in the second half of last season and never really was used much after his return from that. But before that neck injury, Sanders started to come on. He had between 8.8 and 12.7 PPR points in 4 of the 5 games before the neck injury. He was a player on the rise. As a tight end in the offense, he'll be on the field. We know Ted McMillan is there, but Jatavian Sanders could really come in and get a good floor performance based on target potential.